everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to you all, and especially to everyone who's with us for the first time. This is our irregular, sort of monthly meeting, November meeting of the New York Society for General Semantics. Since many of you are new here, and you might not know this, but at that point you should have cheered and clapped. Much better, much better. I see you're fast learners, and that bodes well for this evening. We're very happy to have this evening as really the third poetry program that we've had since we started this series here at the Players. I do want to start by saying that the New York Society for General Semantics, which was founded 1946, right, Jackie? 1946. Yes. So we've been around for a long time, and for many years we've done programs of a great variety of really lots of interesting kind of stuff. Sometimes it's about politics, sometimes it's about music, sometimes it's poetry. Next month on December 18th we'll have a session that has a kind of literary focus as well. But our interest is in language and in how we relate to our environment. And there's a lot of information on the New York Society website that you can get out of to learn more about general semantics. We also have some copies of the General Semantics Journal, etc., that are free for whoever wants to grab one. I think there are still a few left. And I also want to point out that the New York Society for General Semantics does not charge any fees for membership. We don't technically have a membership, or for these events. They are put on free of charge to the public. But we do encourage folks who are interested to join the Institute of General Semantics. And in joining the Institute of General Semantics, which is very reasonably priced. How much? It's $50 for a real person and $25 for a student.
For a student.
Yes.
Real person.
So, and with that you get a subscription to, etc., Journal of General Semantics, a review of general semantics. Which is edited by Tom Gencarelli, who's with us today and is shaking the, yeah, that's good. Clap for Tom.
And also free admission at the Princeton Club every October to a very fancy dinner with a keynote speaker of note.
Yes, and that's called the Alfred Korzybski Memorial Lecture, named after the founder of General Semantics, Alfred Korzybski. Last month, the AKML speaker was Nadine Strawson, the former head of the ACLU, talking about free speech and censorship. So we always have an interesting time, and that's followed by a two-day symposium as well, which the New York Society, which is a local chapter, is very proud to co-sponsor with the Institute of General Semantics. So, and you can find the links, or just Google General Semantics, and all that will be available. And there are resources on the New York Society page, and also resources freely available on the Institute's page, as well as things you can pay money for if you like to do that sort of thing. And so I'm very happy to welcome you all once again, and we're going to turn things over to our Master of Ceremonies for tonight, and let me introduce him. I see some folks are looking for seats, and do your best, but please sit down. Our MC for tonight is Michael Plew. Sitting in a big chair, and Mike is a member of the board of directors of the New York Society for General Semantics. He's also a professor of communication at Manhattan College. which, by the way, Manhattan College is located in the Bronx, which speaks to perhaps the great saying in general semantics, the map is not the territory. I'll turn it over to Mike. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lance. I'm always excited to be standing here, sometimes sitting here at the historic Players, and excited to see such a large crowd of people here tonight. I think we have a wonderful event ahead for you. We're here to celebrate poetry from a number of really wonderful poets. I'm going to be doing a reading on behalf of one of the poets, so I'm a little nervous about that, but really excited to be sitting here with the great Bill Bissett. Looking forward to celebrating his very excited. The beautiful Bill Bissett, Treez. Before I begin, I'd just like to say I feel a little bit nervous, truth be told. I've been up here a number of times over the years, and I'm accustomed to hosting all sorts of academic events. And generally, I'm among the more colorful personalities in academic circles, but here I feel a little bit drab and out of place. So I thank you very much for accepting me into this community of poets. As you might see around you, there's quite a bit of lovely artwork and some wonderful books with exciting and fascinating things inside of them. And at a discount, you can have any number of these or all of these things after our event. So please come up and inquire.
And have them signed.
And, well, of course have them signed. We're both orality and literacy here tonight. So I'd like to begin this evening by introducing my lovely and wonderful friend sitting here in the front row. And I always debate when I do these whether I'm going to read verbatim from the speakers' bios. And in this case, I thought I would, because there's a lot of really cool, spicy language in it, and I want to say it out loud. So indulge me for just a second. Adeena Karasick is a New York-based Canadian poet, performer, cultural theorist, and media artist, and the author of 10 award-winning books of poetry and poetics. It gets better than this too, right? Her Kabbalistically inflected urban Jewish feminist mashups have been described as, quote, and this is the good part, electricity in language, Nicole Brossard. Proto-ecstatic jet-propulsive word torsion, George Quasha. That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
I like that. They say that about me sometimes, but I don't know. I didn't really earn that. Noted for their, quote, cross-fertilization of punning and knowing, theater and theory, Charles Bernstein. Quote, a twined virtuosity of mind and ear which leaves the reader deliciously lost in Karasick's signature syllabic labyrinth. Wow, Craig Dworkin. One long dithyram, is that right?
I don't know.
I don't know, it looks good. Okay, I'll go with that.
Don't say that about you.
Wait, I want to say that. Can I say that again? One long dithyram of desire. A seven-veiled dance of seduction that celebrates the tangles, convulsions, and ecstasies of unbridled sexuality, demonstrating how desire flows through language, an unstoppable flood of illusion, both literary and pop cultural, wordplay, and extravagant and outrageous sound work. Mark Scroggins. There's a little bit more. So spicy. Most recently is Checking In, Talon Books 2018, and Salome, Woman of Valor. And I had the pleasure of being around while you were working on Salome. We shared offices at Fordham University. Adeena teaches literature and critical theory for the Humanities and Media Studies Department at Pratt Institute. Do we have some Pratties here? Yeah, that's right. Make yourself known. Is poetry editor for Explorations in Media Ecology. Is a 2018 Andrew W. Mellon Foundation Award recipient and winner of the 2016 Voce Donna Italia Award for her contributions to feminist thinking. The Adeena Karasick Archive has been established at Special Collections, Simon Fraser University. I give you the lovely and talented Adeena Karasick.
You was my office mate at Fordham.
That's right.
So lucky.
I was.
So no mic? No mic? Okay.
I'm here.
Good.
There's a mic here.
Yeah, speaking too. That sounds weird. First of all, thank you so much for coming. It's great to see each and every one of you. So many familiar faces, lovers of poetry, avant-garde poetics, book arts. Thank you most especially Lance Strait for putting this on. All the media colleges here tonight, my awesome Pratt students, manager, my daughter, Wes Rickard and Kathleen Reichelt, all the way from Ontario, who you're going to hear later. Most notably, the reason why we're all here today is to celebrate one and only Bill Bissett, who some of you have heard we're at the event at Pratt on Monday, and then come back for more because you just can't get enough, so I'm really excited for that. And later on in the evening, I'm going to do a relatively short set, and then later on in the evening, I'm going to be introducing him. So sit back and enjoy. La lily hill, belly belly, bomba, so home, la ruha, bruha. A systematic revisionism. Take your pixie fixity, prorient lure, twirly whirl is a concerton tempestuous sextamburian. And down in the elixir mixer of lexically robust postulates which say, Siswa, bet noir, of gnarly bars, a capping's got the gothany of acrostic biscuits, miscue skew of super cinder slippery silly singing in the flotsam played refrain. Stay out of the darkness on soleil, Salome, out of the madness, Lila May's night. Drenched with martyred ardor, drown me in the self-descent sin-stained something of sapped spirit, drown me in the surf waters of hallowed south waters, a swift of misery, fetid despair, asylum waters, a scorched scream, smashed orbits waters, of moaning filth, sprout, sit, sprig, thickets, feverish reveries, drowning in the self-esteem curtains, corridors, a more stone slab, fingers, fleshy, renounce in the waters of roused down. Potpourri for my 10 minutes of awesomeness. All right, this is the little chow. Okay. She has to catch a plane to Israel. This is called House of the Rising Sun. Wet court, pushback, glass house, bleak house, cracked house, detached house, kabaki house, trap house, and house where nobody lives. The call is coming from inside the house. A flickering faxes, house of wax, of curtains, cages, cocksuckers, unaccountably curl-coated code. The king is in his canning house, divided in the house of flying daggers, in the house of 1,000 corpses. This is the legend of Hell House, this monster house of dead rats, black bread, ein, spy, dry, fear house of horror, haunting by the lead edge of the leak. Sick house, gold house, card house, kill house, of props, pranks, smears, shadows, shutters, trauma, trigger, troll house, bone house, shell shock, blow house, nightmares, vacancies, surfaces, and dread house of skin sinking, slaughterhouse, snake house, torture house, dead house, damn house, lopsided country house, this crooked house twinkling in the moonlit supremacies, in the violence of paranoid talk, No. Safe house, farmhouse, lighthouse, party house, no house. Papered with shade. House of 1,000 candles, a playhouse with laughing windows, the drip blood, tear, hubris, acid house of fools, red house of mad souls. Who is the master of this house of madness, of sand, of fog on the edge of the sea? Big house, hot house, broken stash, house of who, what, when, where, house of intolerance that screams emoluments through beckoning, reckoning, rip, roaring, rat house, ice house, place house, dirty mannered swine house, not a very, 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 very fine house, but as you huff and puff and blow your house, cleaning the house, racking the house, a plague on both our, I'm still fitting on the house. May those hearings go well. Okay. Right. And so for some of you underage people, trigger warning. This is from a recent book called Checking In. And it's a series of faux Facebook updates. Fake news is at the faux bar. Mr. Goodbar thinks this is foo bar. Thin Lizzie's watching her cards. The smoker, the joker, and the midnight toker are wanting a vape. Old Man Beaver is wanting a bison cigar. The pedagogue is in the synagogue. The Luddite is going analog. Microsoft is getting hard. Form is wet with content stream. Deleuze and Guattari are eating 1,000 platanos. The autumn flautist is eating flautas. Chiaroscuros are at the chiaroscaria. Chicoria is at the tequileria. Sishu is eating sashimi. Aer Lingus is serving beniglia. Longinus is getting wet. Christina Rossetti is likes this and says pluck it and suck it, pitted, saddle pear say. Persay says it's all hearsay. Binaries are doubling down. Hulsenbeck's having a Malbec. Saussure sipping Sancerre. Comic Sans is doing without. The 12 tribes are at the midbar. Sacher-Masoch is serving it straight up. Hugo Ball's having highballs. The Rebbe of Babli is seeking bubbly. Hubermensch is drinking cab. Starry Night is lit. Third-party cookies are getting some candy. Overdots are ascending on high. Bold italics are refusing to move into an upright position. The plums that were in the icebox are getting juiced. Small batch bourbon is in a tiny house. Walt Whitman is enjoying some summer grass. Yahoo is opening some happy tabs. Roman Jakobsen is getting diachronic. Jack is getting all cranked up. Hansel and Gretel are getting baked. Brian Geisen is cutting it up. Jack the Ripper likes this. Hot media is unzipping itself. Emily Dickinson is going into the fog. Anubis is smoking cannabis. The princess has got a frog in her throat. Flogging Molly is eating a tamale. Flatfoot Flugie is doing the ramboogie. Obadiah is saying la tita. Paul Valerie is saying Valera ha 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 ha. Raw data has been stripped bare by her bachelors. The long sleeper is wolf. And I spent it, and I've never read this before, but I wrote it just for Bill. I was thinking, when I was writing his introduction, and I was just so like, this book. So this book, his new Breth, published by Talon Books just now, just like fresh, hot off the press. It's the largest collection to date. I'll talk more later about it, but it's just got, it's the most astonishing, visionary, incredible thing that spans like his entire life. And there you go. Anyways, while I was reading it, I'll talk later about it, but this is just, this little preamble. As the body embodies disembodied, embodied the body, rebodies unbound. The forbidden body, foreboding, embodying the body, embodies unbound. With your eyes of secrets, handshakes, molecular dissolve, the black river rocking to ambrosial surfaces, caribou dreams, crimson dawn, your eyes of ashes strewn, coastal glistening in the night skies, with your eyes of flan and towering boxes, Church Street, Timothy's, the Saint, your eyes of seagulls on Young Street, and incorrect thoughts, glistening plains and hungry throat, fingers to the chin, ancient eyes of torments, tremors, tangos, mods and infinities, tactilities, ruby eyes of gold mountains and summer lagoons, of honey, love, excelsior, drinkable lava, dancing languor of fevers, flavors, your eyes of lunaria, matua, sing so sorrow Sally sometimes, you're so full of needles and uproar, your eyes inside the letters and the image and the sound of pool spools, park spars, and the endless raging paper play, with your eyes of sutured corneas, coronas, succulent milking, your eyes of utopias, dystopias, of elastic rain, pillowing leaves, and ripple concertos of dancing nouns, garlands, your eyes in their veins filled with flowers. Thank you.